Hello guys, welcome back to Super Guy Boy Show, and today is the newest album review, the new Matt Ox album, Year of the Ox. Matt Ox didn't really intrigue me as a rapper. I didn't really like him that much. I thought he was a very subpar vocalist, and I feel like in this new scene of cloud rap, I never really found him that much of a standout. That's why really I was just more of like forgotten. He was one of those artists that were just there and I just always forget. It wasn't until I got a song the other day, like a week ago, when I was listening to Late Registration. I got one of the songs on here. I forgot which one, but I got recommended by it, and I think it was the track Genesis, the intro on here. And when I was listening to it, just wanting to see, oh, okay, because I was intrigued by the album cover, and I was really surprised how much Matt Ox had changed. Because if you go from underwhelming to here, it's like a big gap of differences. Not only is the production a lot more darker on here, but a lot of the vocalists, the vocals on here reflect more of that Playboy Cardi, Whole Lotta Red sound, like that distorted, rough, straining vocals that Playboy Cardi had all over that record. And if y'all don't know, because since it's been a long time since I really talked about Whole Lotta Red, it grew on me tremendously, a lot more than when I first reviewed it. So I was more than kind of satisfied hearing Genesis, and I was more looking forward to listening to this one. I wasn't having high hopes, but I was still expecting something entertaining. But unfortunately, this album, it really fell off for me. Not only is this thing bloated with 31 tracks, but it's not even like a terrible album. Because here's the thing, the beats on here, they're amazing. Like, there's some great synth passages, some great melodies. There's even a lot of like progression at some of them, a lot of change ups too. But it's Matt Ox that really drags it down for me. And it's not that Matt Ox is a terrible rapper. I've heard worse rappers, but it's the fact that he takes Playboy Cardi's sound so badly. And like, I really love Whole Lotta Red. It grew so much on me because of how much he was experimenting and going a lot more into that left field direction. But it's sad to see Matt Ox just completely stealing that sound and not even putting his own spin at it. I'm not gonna go on and act like, there's a couple artists that I listen to that are clearly influences. Like, Lil Baby sounds a lot like Young Thug, but at least Lil Baby sounds different at he sounds different. He flows differently at points. And he also lyrically is a way more impressive rapper than Young Thug. He's a lot more lyrical than Young Thug. And even Travis Scott sounded a lot like that Yeezus era at his production back at the Owl Pharaoh and Days Before Rodeo sounds that he was working on. So I'm not saying that there is no potential with Matt Ox. It's just that for here, I was just not on board with this album. It really sounds to me like a bunch of derivative, like Playboy Cardi ripoffs, like just reference Playboy Cardi tracks that unfortunately it bites the sound so hard of it. I bet you if like someone played one of the tracks and I didn't even know this album was a thing and someone told me, hey, this is a Playboy Cardi leak, I would definitely agree on it. And that's my biggest issue with this entire thing. It's not only bloated, but it's completely biting the sounds of Playboy Cardi, that simplistic, distorted, chaotic like sounds of Whole Lotta Red. And the thing is that it can't even implement that distorted sound that well, because not only is the mixing on here way too polished, it's way too clean, but sometimes it's way too hollow as well. Look at the track Destiny. Not only is that the worst track on here, but the mixing is completely terrible. Not only does it have so many different dials, but it sounds way too hollow for its own good with such a like big beat behind it. You're surprised how much the vocals and the beat feels so separated, so like it feels very hollow in comparison to the very chaotic sounds of Whole Lotta Red, like On That Time or Stop Breathing, that it clearly tries its best to take influences of. And there's even a couple tracks on here that takes from that dial-lit psychedelic sound, like Ready Set Go, like that completely sounds like Poke It Out. I don't know how people can really be on board with it, but whatever. I just don't really know what to give this album, because it wasn't a terrible album. It was just the fact that it felt so derivative because it tried so hard of ripping off Playboy Cardi in a way where it just felt very uninteresting. I wouldn't mind if Matt Ox sounded like Playboy Cardi, but it's the fact that he doesn't try anything different with it. He doesn't try to put his own spin in it besides the beats, but at the same time he tries to copy that simple flows, those hooks on here. But unfortunately, not even the hooks on here are catchy compared to Playboy Cardi's other hooks on Whole Lotta Red or even Die Lit. It just feels very derivative on that. I feeling 3 out of 10, not closer to a 2, not closer to a 4. It's just a 3 out of 10. And hopefully y'all had a wonderful day. Hopefully y'all enjoyed, and yeah, see ya.